First, let me just echo what Chantel said, which is to say congratulations on being admitted to the University of Maryland. That it is an extraordinary accomplishment to be admitted. Uh, it is a highly competitive school to get into. It used to be the case way, way, way back in the day that the University of Maryland was what was called a safety school for a lot of people in the state of Maryland. And that is no longer the case. It is hard to get into this school, and it is even harder to get into the Honors College. It is about the top 10% of students admitted to the university who are admitted into the Honors College. So you are in elite company, and I hope you're feeling proud of that accomplishment and excited and curious about what the University of Maryland has to offer you. So with that, I'm going to share my screen and open the slide deck. And hopefully now you can see slides. Chantel or Jenny, could you give it a thumbs up if the slides are showing? Perfect. Okay. Okay, so again, I'm going to move through this somewhat quickly because I want time for Q&A and for our students to talk, but this will hopefully be helpful by way of overview. The Honors Humanities program is one of 8 living learning programs that are housed inside of the Honors College. We are one of the oldest in the college, and we offer students close engagement with art, film, history, ideas. We talk about dance, we talk about food, we talk about philosophy, law, all these areas that are part of the arts and humanities broadly. And we do that with the aim of enriching your undergraduate experience, helping you to enjoy it more, get more out of it, and to help prepare you for success in your careers, because that's obviously the important part of what college is about, and also for life, success in life. I am somebody who deeply, deeply believes that education is partly about preparing you for a career, but its highest mission is helping you answer for yourself the question, what does it mean to live a good life? And so our program has that at its heart in many ways. So this is some of our mission. We have a diversity of people and majors. Students are in our program come from all different regional backgrounds, racial backgrounds, class backgrounds, gender backgrounds, households, educational backgrounds, you name it. We have people from very diverse backgrounds and also from very diverse majors. We have over 60 majors represented in the Honors Humanities program. And so this is something I really, really want to emphasize to you. If you only take away a few things from tonight, one of them is that you do not have to major in an arts or humanities major in order to be in Honors Humanities. In fact, the majority of our students are majoring in STEM fields like computer science or biology, in sociology or education. What our students have in common is a passion for creativity, for the arts and humanities. And again, they come from all different majors. We model ourselves sort of as a liberal arts program, and we say to students that what we offer is something of the small liberal arts college experience at a large research university. So maybe you've been admitted or are considering liberal arts colleges like Sarah Lawrence or like Smith or like Vassar or like Scripps in California. If we offer the kind of close-knit community that you would find at a liberal arts school like that, a place like Williams, and a focus on the liberal arts, but also you have the advantage of the resources of a large public research school. We have a very close-knit community. Students often describe Honors Humanities as a family. We admit about 60 to 65 students a year, and our students live together in the same residence hall. And so you really form close friendships with other students and with faculty and staff that you work with. We also have a curriculum that encourages students either through field trips or in different ways to explore Washington, D.C., Baltimore, the Maryland area. We take sophomores every year to New York City for a weekend. And so we really try to emphasize active learning and getting out there beyond the classroom. Some things that happen, what we do in Honors Humanities, we develop critical thinking skills, critical reading skills, critical writing skills, skills around debate and discussion, creative skills of different sorts. We try to foster creativity and curiosity in our students by asking big questions and looking at things from different backgrounds and different perspectives. In this program, you will build lifelong relationships. Some of your closest friends will be people that you meet in our program. It is not uncommon. I'm not going to say this happens for everybody, but it is not uncommon for people to. We have honors humanities marriages, people who have dated in college out of our program and gotten married. That doesn't happen with most people, but it happens sometimes. But apart from that, you will build close friendships that will be part of your entire life. And then also at the end of the sophomore year, students in Honor Humanities create a personal project called the Keystone Project. And we call this a passion project. It's really driven by you, by what interests you professionally or personally. And it's a chance to really spend focused time on something that you're passionate about that will advance your personal or professional desires. So we have students who write symphonies, novels, who make documentaries, podcast series, painting series, cookbooks. There's a whole range of things that people create for their Keystone project. And it becomes a really important centerpiece of your time in our program. Students in Honors Humanities in their freshman year live together in mostly, almost all students live together in Anne Arundel Hall, which is the building that you see in the photo at bottom left. Our program offices and classroom is in the basement of this hall. And then the dorms are on the second, third, and fourth floors of Anne Arundel Hall. This is a beautiful building. It is located in the center of campus. It has air conditioning. Let me say that again. It has air conditioning. So it's especially nice to be in Anne Arundel Hall in August and September when we're in the sweltering heat of Maryland. And it is a really great place for learning together. Students hang out together. We have a lounge in the basement where students spend a lot of time together studying or watching TV or doing puzzles or just hanging out together on their phones. In many ways, Anne Arundel Hall is the centerpiece and the kind of star of our program because it is a terrific building and you will have the option to live in there. And we strongly encourage students to live in there together in their freshman year as part of the living learning experience. Sometimes students choose to live in Queen Anne's, which is next door to Anne Arundel. Sometimes sophomores move into Queen Anne's, but for the most part, Anne Arundel is where our program is housed. It is a 2-year program, Honors Humanities, and in year one, in the fall, you take a class that I teach called Fearless Ideas in the Humanities or Introduction to the Arts and Humanities. We look together through active learning. We again talk about dance, we talk about film, we talk about social media and the rise of digital communication, things like TikTok and AI, other stuff like that. We talk about philosophy, law. That's a class that I teach in the fall. In the spring of your freshman year, you take a class with the associate director, Dr. Hamoud, that is about the arts and humanities in the real world, how the arts and humanities matter in professional settings, in our democracy, in everyday life. So you can sort of think of that as arts and humanities applied. In year two, in the fall, when you're a sophomore, we have a menu of courses called sophomore seminars that you can choose from. Classes like Dance in the World is an incredibly popular class where you actually dance together and you also meet dance practitioners from around the globe to talk about the kind of history of dance and different dance forms and what dance means as a kind of movement and as part of our lives. We have classes that are on zine making. We've offered classes on the haiku. We've offered classes on a whole range of topics. And then in the spring of your sophomore year, you work on the Keystone project that I told you about a moment ago, your passion project, where you create this thing that comes from your interests and is aimed at your goals as a person. Those are your first 2 years. It's a 2 year program. And then the last element, though, which you can do in your freshman year or your sophomore year, some students do it their junior year. You can choose either to complete your citation, a 3 credit internship related to the arts and humanities, or you can take a 3 credit upper level class in a department housed within the College of Arts and Humanities. So that could be a Spanish class, it can be a Persian class, it can be a women, gender, sexuality studies class, a philosophy class, it could be a theater class, any class that's at the junior or senior level. Uh, the third option for completing your citation is to do a study abroad, either a winter or summer or semester study abroad. And we have students who study abroad in Korea, in Japan, in Gambia, in Chile, in Costa Rica, in Denmark, England, all around the world. We've had students studying abroad, and that study abroad experience can be your third option for completing the citation. So that gives you a little sense of the curriculum. Why choose honors humanities? This is a big question. You are going to be facing some big decisions. Which college you want to go to, and if you come to the University of Maryland, which honors college you want to be a part of. Um, Being a part of honors humanities means you get a well-rounded undergraduate experience. As I said a little bit ago, most of our students are majors in STEM fields like engineering, computer science, et cetera, math. They choose honors humanities because they don't just want to be in the laboratory or in this or in um, the engineering studio. They also want to be exploring other sides of who they are, other passions that they have. Many of our students are musicians, are dancers, are filmmakers, and they want a well-rounded experience to enjoy college and get the most out of it. Honors humanities will help you be more successful in your career. Um, According to a LinkedIn survey that was done a few years ago, about 50% of business leaders say that what are called soft skills, which can include critical thinking, um, critical reading skills, navigating ambiguity, um, uh, communication skills. I think I said that already. Things like this are incredibly important in hiring practices and in being chosen for graduate school, everything from medicine to law to beyond. And this is increasingly important as artificial intelligence becomes more and more a part of the workforce. Artificial intelligence is very, very good, for example, at coding. It is better than most coders are at making apps or other computer software. And so businesses are increasingly relying on artificial intelligence to do stuff that computer science departments used to train people to do. What artificial intelligence is not good at yet and may never get good at are the kinds of skills that an honors humanities education will give you. The ability to think critically, the ability to make difficult decisions based on nuanced information, the ability to communicate across differences. Our skills are becoming more important, not less important. And we have students who go on from our program to be phenomenally successful. It will also help you stand out in graduate applications because medical schools, for example, get a lot of students who have very, very, very high MCAT scores. That does not help you stand out all that much. But being able to show on your resume and in, for example, your interviews that you had this experience and are trained in things like human connection, and therefore will be a physician that has good bedside manner. That's the kind of thing medical schools look for, and it's true for other professions as well. I have this picture here of Steve Jobs. You might know Steve Jobs was the founder of Apple Computers. He designed the iPhone that many of you probably have. I always like this quote from him about the importance of the arts and humanities in his life and in the world broadly. And I like this detail that Steve Jobs dropped out of college. He didn't finish his college degree. He was at Reed College in Oregon. But the class that he loved most when he was an undergraduate, and the class that had the biggest impact on him, and in that way, the biggest impact on you, was not his computer engineering class. It was a calligraphy class that he took as a sophomore in college because calligraphy taught him about minimalism, about compact design, and about beauty. And so I like that story as a way of kind of driving home what I'm trying to convey to you about how important it is, the kinds of things we study in this program. Here's a little bit of contact information. You can see my email there, rjo@umd.edu. You are welcome to email me if you have any follow-up questions about what I just shared. Please do, if you're not already, follow us on Instagram. Our students run our Instagram account at UMDHH, and it's a great way to get a student ground level perspective on what it's like in our program, who our students are, and the really incredible things that they do in the classroom and beyond the classroom. You can see our website is there, and also our general email, hhum@umd.edu. So I talked fast there to try to move through our discussion. I'm happy to answer any follow-up questions that you have if you want clarification on anything I shared. But we are joined tonight by three students from Honors Humanities, Sarah, Leora, and Jonavi. And they can share some of their perspective and also answer questions for you about the program if you are interested. So thank you for your attention.
Don't be shy, people. You can start asking your questions in the Q&A area. Again, if you do not see that, please click the three dots that says more, and you should see that option. Unless Dr. O just did a very great job at this presentation, you have no questions?
Maybe while folks are coming up with questions, I'll ask if Sarah, Leora, Jonavi can just say something briefly, either share a story from your time that kind of captures your experience, or if you want to add to what I said, or just say something else about Honors Humanities.
I can start. Hi everyone. I'm Jonavi. I'm a senior. So I am now a Ho alum, which feels very weird to say if I'm being honest. I'm also an RA in Anne Arundel right now. So I've gotten to see, I was actually Sarah's RA and I am one of the RAs who's with Leora. So it's definitely a family. I've gotten to watch basically a bunch of the Ho-Hum communities come together, which is crazy because, like Dr. O said, when I came to Ho-Hum, I didn't expect to like be friends with these people for 4 years. One of my best friends that I'm meeting tomorrow for dinner is in the program. We were president and vice president, respectively, when we were in the cohort. So it is truly a family. You will find people that you love. You will find a home here, and I think that that's probably the best part of the program. And a lot of that is due to, Dr. O and Dr. Hamoud being really exceptional teachers and just really good at fostering, a very inclusive home for everyone. But yeah.
I can also speak a little bit about some things that I've really enjoyed in Ho Hum. One of them is also just to reemphasize the friendships that you can form within Ho Hum. I'm currently in my apartment that I share with two other Ho Hum alumni. We've all become really close friends and we love hanging out together. Right now, they're all watching a movie together out there. So that's a lot of fun. I also really love the final requirement with Ho Hum, the one that Dr. O talked about, where you have three options. It really encouraged me to study abroad, which I did last winter. That was kind of one of my college bucket list items. So Bohum definitely encouraged me to do that, and it was a really amazing experience.
I can touch on, I really like the flexibility that Ho Hum allows. I am a psych, but also I'm a psych major, but I'm also on the nursing pathway. So I have a lot of those like mathy, sciencey classes. And so I really like having my ho-hum class to do like the fun, weird humanities stuff. And then I have my chem class where I'm really like in my chemistry zone. And it's really nice because you're living, at least I'm a freshman, so I'm living with everybody who I'm taking at least one class with. So my roommate who's sitting back there on her bed, um, will like talk about the class and be like, okay, have you done the reading yet? Or even if like you go to the bathroom or you're going to fill your water bottle, like chances are you're going to run into someone. And if you have a question about the reading or if you have a question about the homework, then you automatically have someone there.
Um, Sorry, Dr. O, if you want to go ahead.
I'm just going to answer really quickly. There's a question from Alex Yan in the chat who said, I'm interested in mathematics, computer sciences. I guess HH is not my best choice, question mark. I can't say whether it's your best choice. That will come down to you, but I will say it can be a great choice for you. We have many, many, many honors humanities students who are math or computer science majors. They really like, as I said earlier, the chance to combine, to have a well-rounded education, to sometimes connect what they do in honors humanities classes with their math, computer science learning because there are connections that exist there, or just sometimes to use a different side of their brain. And again, having honors humanities citation on your transcript will make you more competitive when you go to apply for computer science jobs, graduate school in computer science or math, whatever it is, you'll be more competitive as a result. So again, I can't say if it's your best choice or not, but it is a great choice, and you are certainly welcome here. I think we have Amy um, also joining us, who's an honors humanities student, and maybe Amy could just introduce yourself quickly.
Can you see me all right? Um,
We can't hear you, Amy. Sorry. I know you're off mute.
can you hear me now?
Barely. Oh,
I don't really
technology. We love it.
know about that.
You want to just start talking and see?
Yeah. So my name is Amy, and I am a sophomore in Honors Humanities. I am also an architecture major, and one thing that I noticed when I joined, or when I was accepted into Honors Humanities, and then I decided to follow through with coming here, um, is one thing that I noticed is like, because I also went to like all these information sessions like you guys did. It's always like, oh, we're such a big happy family and we all live in the dorm and we all talk to each other and it's always like, yeah. And then I came here and it really is genuinely like that. And so that's something that like I always really want to like share with all of you guys when you're trying to gain information, that like it really is true that like almost all my friends in college, we all live here, and we come like every night in the basement, and Jonnaby's our RA, and she sees us down there and jokes with us, and it really is honestly like a wonderful community. And so,
Thanks, Amy. We have a question in the Q&A from, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Nayala, who asked, what is your favorite part about being in honors humanities? We can let anybody take that.
I think for me, my favorite part was the different class options in the first semester of my sophomore year. There were like four different options. I know the dance class really popular. I didn't do that class. I did a class, I'm not sure if it's still offered, but it was about focusing on the environment and sustainability. And that was very relevant and very interesting. So I really enjoyed that class. And I also really enjoyed that we had the option to pick from a selection of different topics.
Aside from the flexibility, I really like this is gonna sound not as like high up, but the dorm is actually pretty awesome. It's a really great location for someone who likes to sleep as long as possible before getting out of bed and getting ready for the day. Um, Most of my classes are not more than 10 minutes away. The farthest I go is the chemistry building, which is maybe 15 minutes if I'm feeling slow. And so it's been really, really awesome to be right in the center of campus because we're right behind McKeldin Mall. And it was nice during finals to be able to walk to McKeldin in 1 minute. And do all my studying. I'm a big fan of like a big whiteboard for studying. And then coming back and being in my dorm in like 5 minutes. So I love the location. The dorm is really pretty. It's really homey. Um, yeah.
We have in the basement of Anne Arundel. I mentioned earlier the lounge where there's a big screen TV in it where students watch reality TV or watch sports or they'll play movies or things like that. There's also a study lounge that you have 24-hour access to that has big whiteboards where you can work on your organic chemistry um, uh, sets. And it also has free printing, free coffee, free TV, or free tea. We try to help students fuel themselves during finals, for example. So that's a part of the dorm too, in addition to what Leora talks about, the location of it and the hominess of it.
The farmers market is also right in front of or behind wherever you consider the front to be of the dorm. And that's been so awesome and so fun.
Yeah, the farmers market's awesome. Let's go to another question. This is from Carolyn, who asks, what have been your favorite classes through the program? What were your final projects about? We heard from Sarah already about her class on sustainability and the environment. Other classes that you've enjoyed, things you did for your passion project. Leora hasn't done hers yet, so she can't answer that, but others can.
Um, so I did actually take the dance class. I am a dancer, so it just made the most sense. I will be honest, it's really nice because you can shut your brain off for like an hour and 15 minutes and just dance with your friends. And you get to do a bunch of stuff. So I'm a classical dancer. I'm awkward in every other form of movement. Like walking, I will sprain my ankle. It's not good. So it was actually really, really fun to like learn something new. Like we did tap dancing. We did a combination of Bharatanatyam and hip hop, which was super cool. So Dr. Spanos, who teaches that class, is probably one of the most accommodating professors I've ever had on this campus. She's amazing. Um, and then I actually did my Keystone project on my mom. I did a series of blog entries. I created a blog basically about her. That was it. I did basically it was like about menstrual access and like growing up in India and how that relates to how I grew up here. But yeah, the center of my project was my mom. And it does, I think, just go to show how much you can do. I started with original plan to rewrite the AP World History course and ended up with a blog. So it was not what I had planned. A doctor can attest to this, and my GA Sherry, who saw the stages of my project, um, you can literally do whatever you want. Like one of my friends danced for her Keystone. My co-RA Max like composed a symphony for his capstone our freshman year. So it is literally anything. I'm sure Doctor would not have a problem if you coded something super cool and made that part of your project. Like it is genuinely probably like Leora said, the most flexible aspect of the program is that however you can connect the humanities to your life is, I mean, that's how you're going to utilize it in the future. And I think that that's just a really important part of like self-reflection and just what you're going to learn while you're in the program itself.
For my capstone this semester, which is like a smaller, more artsy related project. I'm in an Israeli dance group, and so I was already choreographing a dance for it. And so we found a way to work that into what my capstone is going to be, which is really cool.
Um, so I am a sophomore, right? So I'm in the year that I would normally be taking the Keystone class now. Now, we did have a schedule conflict, but what that does mean is that even if you're not able to take your Keystone during like the time of year when most of the classes would, you do still have the opportunities to take it throughout the ride. Like it's not like if you have a major requirement that's conflicting, you don't have to like quit Honors Humanities. There's plenty of other options and we'll be able to work it out. How me and my friends have been thinking about it is I have the ultimate extension on my Keystone because I got a whole nother year to do it. And so my big plan is I'm going to be crocheting an installation that you can stand in. And I would like to theme it around like pharmaceuticals because that's an interest of mine that I've never been able to explore academically. And so it's kind of given me the flexibility to use the craft that I love to study something else that I love.
That sounds really cool, Amy. Awesome. Let's see. Thank you, Sarah and Jonavi, for answering Neala's email or message. We do have a lot of students who double major because many of the students admitted to Honors College and Honors Humanities come in with a lot of AP credits. And so they're kind of many often come in as sophomores or juniors by standing. And so it is very common for students to double major. But again, you do not have to major in an arts and humanities discipline in order to be in the program. You can, but you don't have to. Okay, Mercy has a question. If any of the student ambassadors are in STEM majors, how did you balance the humanities and STEM coursework? Additionally, how did you find ways to connect your interests in your passion project? You've already got a little bit of a hint of that from Amy and from Leora too, working on a freshman project she's doing, but maybe others can say something about balancing STEM and humanities coursework and connecting things for passion projects.
I can definitely speak to that. I'm an animal science major, and it's definitely a lot of coursework. I really enjoy my animal anatomy and physiology classes. I really hate my chemistry classes, um, but it's definitely possible to balance the coursework between them. I think I was taking Orgo 1 at the same time that I was doing my final project, and I was able to make time for both. Of course, it's all about time management. But I found Honors Humanities a really nice way to kind of cleanse my palate from all of these complex STEM classes and just find a way to focus on something else that academically. And then how I connected my project really directly to my academic interests. I wrote a research paper on the proper care of hamsters since it's a little silly, but it's something I'm very passionate about, hearing all these hamster horror stories. But I was able to really dive in a lot to my animal science interests through that. I was actually taking a class at the time called Companion Animal Management, where I learned a little bit about like caring for pets and stuff like that. So I was totally able to connect my project directly to my major.
Others want to share on that note, balancing things. Balance is hard. Students admitted to the honors college tend to be kind of driven overachievers by personality. And so sometimes like the gas is all the way to the floor. But I like to think that our program really encourages students to step back and approach school, yes, as something you have to do in order to achieve your professional goals and you want to get good grades and that kind of thing, but also really to step back from it and to, when it's possible, to kind of be in the moment and enjoy the process of learning, enjoy the community of learning, and kind of enjoy the experience of being able to follow your curiosity. And I think that can be an important part of, similar to kind of what Sarah is saying, that process of unplugging a little bit from maybe your organic chemistry class or whatever, your computer science 422 class. It's healthy to unplug from it, but it also means you go back to that work, I think, a little bit recharged and with better perspective too. Michaela, let me answer this question really quickly for Caitlin, who asks, for someone that is debating between UH, which is University Honors, and Honors Humanities as their first preference, what are some major things that sets HH apart from UH? Okay, so let me be candid here. We are in a frenemy relationship with other honors college programs. Like we are friendly, we work together in different ways, but of course we're also like, in a sense, competing with each other over students. And so it is, as I said, a frenemy relationship. University Honors is a great program with amazing faculty and staff and students. Um, I think our program's better. And let me give you some insight into what I think sets us apart. University Honors is in some of the newer dorms on campus. There's a couple of brand new dorms, and so you get very nice dorms over there, but they're a little bit farther away from the center of campus than Anne Arundel is. And also, I don't think they're quite as homey or cozy as Anne Arundel is, if I'm honest with you. They're great dorms, don't get me wrong, but I think Anne Arundel has more charm than those do. The bigger thing, though, is that University Honors is really, really big. And for some students, they like being in a honors program that has, let's say 800 students, because they like the opportunity to just meet a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds, and maybe kind of want to be anonymous a little bit. And that might be true of you. But we admit, as I said, 60 students or so in each freshman class. And so you do get to know everybody in your cohort and you get to know the faculty and staff you work with. And so it is just a kind of tighter knit than University Honors. Also, University Honors has kind of like a general, they have different topics from year to year that you can explore, which is terrific. Ours is kind of more focused specifically around the arts and humanities, which tends to be something that our students um, appreciate about it. So it's a smaller community, and the focus I think is a kind of more defined in a way. That those are two things that I think kind of set us apart. Hopefully that answers your question there, Caitlin. Michaela has a question that is somewhat similar to a question that's been asked before, but maybe we can kind of come back to it because I know it's the burning question that people have. For the students, could you please share your most memorable project or experience? Let's make this a non-academic answer. So you all talked about classes or projects that you liked. What is like a highlight for you, a moment with friends that happened in the lounge or in the dining hall or somewhere you went, like a kind of non-academic highlight that stands as your generation calls them, a core memory of of honors humanities outside the classroom.
I can start. I have two of these, honestly. One of them is actually when I was external to the program, or as I currently am external. Um, my freshman year, I had a this girl now is currently one of my best friends. Like I speak to her every day, one of my best friends. Um, did not know her name. I spent 4 weeks in the same class as her, could not figure out what her name was. I was like, "Who are you? Why do I see you in all of my classes?" And then one day, out of the blue, we were in discussion because we do discussion in the building. So, like Leora said, if you're one of those people who likes to sleep till before class, you can just roll downstairs for discussion because it is in the building. Um, we were in discussion and she finally says her name. And I'm like, oh my God, your name is Sophia. I should have known that this whole time. Never gonna forget that. Also, never gonna forget Sophia's name. She is like one of those people that I connected with super well from the very beginning. We met I think at our little ho-hum freshman retreat, probably. We did like a little retreat at a cabin in the woods my freshman year. Um, Dr. was laughing because he knows that they had to go buy marshmallows for us at 10 p.m. near a cabin in the woods. Um, we, I've never met someone that I've connected with so instantly that wasn't like a childhood friend. So I think that is a core memory. I don't think Sophia or I will ever forget that. And the second one is when I became an RA, I became an RA for kids in the program. So I started as a resident assistant in Queen Anne's for my own cohort of sophomores, and now I'm an RA for the freshman cohorts. So like I said, I was an RA for Sarah when she lived here, and then I'm also currently one of the RAs for Leora and Amy. Um, so it's kind of crazy because I get to watch the cohorts become family. I get to be there while we foster community. Myself and my cohort, I do we try really hard to do fun events. And I know that you guys will have fabulous RAs if you do come to Anne Arundel next year. Um, and so I think that one of my core memories of Ho Hum is just watching them become family. Like I remember when Amy met the people that she is currently friends with in the program when they were freshmen. I remember when I watched Leora walk into Anne Arundel for the first time, seeing what the program was, what the building was like, who the people she was going to be living with were. And those are so strong. Like those are never going to go away because it's like you're literally seeing the foundations of relationships that will last a lifetime. Um, so yeah, ho hum is one of those things that Doctor has said it already, but it is really a family. I know it seems really cliche to hear that from me, but as someone who's been here for 4 years, I'm still friends with these people. We are like this. Um, One of my best friends went to Edinburgh for her study abroad for an entire semester. We had a phone call biweekly to make sure we were still catching up with each other because we couldn't like bear to do without that. So it's one of those things where it is what you make of it, but I think Hohum really does foster so much inclusivity that will honestly push you into situations where you're going to find a new group of people in a new community and a new family.
Last night, we actually did a little Galentine's on the fourth floor in the lounge, and I was looking around to try to find we made little love bugs out of pom-poms and fairness. And we had Dunkin' Donuts, um, and we just like had a really nice time. And we also had a lot of us had just been through Rush, so Adina had a question about Greek life or sporting events. And so three of us ended up in the same like each of us kind of have like at least one ho-hum buddy in the chapters that we ended up in. Which was really, really cool and something that we like we'll walk over to the events together. Um, and so that has been one of my big memories. And that was just last night. But also the first week of school, a bunch of us on the fourth floor all went to the Board and Brew, which is a like board games and restaurant slash cafe. And it was a blast. And I think we all bonded a lot that night. And I brought my family back there for a family weekend.
Yeah, this also happened last night, so it sounds like I'm stealing ideas, but I promise I'm not. This is totally different. Um, so my friends from Ho-Hum, and we all still live here. Last night with the snow, and it snowed all day. So last night at like 10 o'clock, we all went out and just played in the snow for like 2 hours. And also there were like a lot of other people there from like all of campus. It's not even like just a ho-hum thing. Like it's moments like that when like there might be 30,000 people here, but there's still just like 100 people out on the hill, like sledding on cardboard and tablecloths or trash bags, wherever you can find. Um, and then something else that we did the very first time I I hung out with like these same people was last spring, and we went to um the student union building. They had a Bridgerton ball, and so I brought one formal dress up here into my dorm, and so we dressed up and we went, and then afterwards we came back and um Max, the other RA, like unlocked the classroom for us in the basement, and we like watched movies and we played some games. I don't know which ones, but um and it's not even like we had to go out to do that. Like we were still at home just on the basement floor. And so
Sarah, do you want to share something?
Yeah, I was just gonna mention briefly, I really enjoyed the New York trip that the sophomores take each year. We saw a Broadway show and gosh, I'm blanking on the other stuff that we did, but the my favorite memory was at after the show, like 20 of us, we were all trying to go around New York City to find a fun activity to do, and we tried to go bowling, and they said we get to be 21 plus. And then they told us to go to Dave and Buster's, and we were so embarrassed. We were like, for kids, we'll go to Dave and Buster's, that's fine. And we also had to be 21 plus to go there. So then we hung out in Target for like 10 minutes before it closed. And it was kind of a bust of a night, but we all had a lot of fun together. We laughed a lot, and it was such a bonding moment for all of us.
Uh, as Sarah said, we go to a Broadway show every year. This year, we're going to see the show Death Becomes Her, which has a lot of buzz on Broadway right now. If you haven't seen the movie, the kind of cult classic movie Death Becomes Her from the 90s, you should check it out. It's a really odd, weird, fun, and funny movie. But in any case, for some people, it's their first time in New York City. I hear some people saying that they're fans of the movie, Chantel. Um, some it's their first time in New York, some have been before, but as Sarah's suggesting, whatever you do in Manhattan, whatever time you go to bed, it's memorable because of the magic of the city and great to go there with friends. It looks like we fielded the questions that folks have. We have probably about 5 minutes before we're going to hand this chat room over to ILS. But one or two last kind of closing word from the students, and then I'll close this out and say goodnight to everybody. You can say something about the University of Maryland because we have students who are not just deciding whether to choose honors humanities or ILS, for example, but also trying to decide whether they're going to go to the University of Maryland or, you know, Drexel or UVA or Princeton or wherever.
I can,
I
or
oh,
Sarah, go ahead.
go ahead, John.
Are you-
Okay. I I had this is just a little like bit of, I guess, advice that someone was telling me when I was applying to colleges. I was between University of Maryland and University of Rochester, and I wasn't sure which one to do. Um, but someone had told me that you can always make a big school feel small, but you can't make a small school feel big. I was worried that UMD would be too big, but between the activities that I do, between my major and the people I've met there, the school feels smaller. Ho-hum especially is an academic way to make the school feel like a much smaller community than I do a cappella, and that also shrinks the size of the school. So it's totally true. You can make a big school feel small, but you can still have all of the tons of activities and options. As an animal science major, I love that the school has a farm. I would not be getting that at another school. I get to watch lambs give birth in my class. Maybe that's gross to you, but I think it's super awesome.
I
So,
think also Maryland kind of just had everything. Oh, sorry, Dr. O.
uh,
Um, and it just all kind of came together. I'm in state, so when I first applied to Maryland, I was like, okay, I'm applying, like it's my state school, like I have to apply. But then from Honors Humanities to the nursing pathway and figuring out my own kind of way that I'm approaching the program and getting all this individualized support. In addition to having all of the big things and the rah-rah sports and everything that you could imagine, it all fell into place. And I said, like, it really felt like Maryland was where I should go.
we have to close out soon. So I just want to quickly, first of all, thank you students for coming and sharing your experiences and answering questions. It means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to the guests that we have tonight. I just want to reinforce the kind of three main things that I hope you will take away from this. One, you can be an arts and humanities major, but you do not have to be an arts and humanities major or be planning a career in the arts and humanities to get a lot out of honors humanities. That's one thing I really want to stress to you. A second thing that I want to stress is that this program will help you find success in your career. It will make you more competitive in the job market and in careers. I think sometimes there are parents, and if there are parents listening, I'm talking to you at the moment, who might say to their kids, "Oh, you shouldn't do honors humanities because you being in the business program will make you more competitive." The fact of the matter is, an honors humanities citation helps you stand out in a very competitive job market. And so it will help you in your career to be in this program. And then finally, to echo what's been said in different ways, truly the greatest thing about honors humanities is the community that you'll find, especially with other students and the kind of lifelong friendships that will form. That doesn't mean every single person in the program will be your best friend forever. That's not how human nature works. There might be people that rub you the wrong way. That's fine. That's how human nature works too. But you will find close friends. And I'm going to just close by telling this story that Leora will remember. When she was doing her freshman orientation the summer before she started at Maryland, I gave a kind of pitch as students and parents were on campus, and I talked about the community. And Leora and her mom approached me afterwards and were like a little skeptical. They were a little like, "I'm not so sure that I believe you about that." And I really loved it because we talk a good game about friendship and community, and it's okay to be skeptical about that. But I think you will find that it is truly the case that you will make great friends here. And even with differences, you'll find Honors Humanities will help you have a great experience at the University of Maryland, which, as I said at the start, is now a highly selective university. So you should feel proud to have gotten in here. We have now reached the ranks of being a public Ivy school. And so you're off to great things no matter what you choose. Again, thank you, Sarah, Leora, Johnny, Amy, for being here. Thank you, Chantel and Jenny, for organizing this. And thank you, our seniors and families who have joined us for this call. Reach out to us via email if you have questions.